Hi guys, and welcome to Visual C++ tutorial of an hotel management system. Now let me show you guys how this works. Here we have a dataGirdView that shows the names and details of the customer in the hotel. Supposing we want to search the system, let's just search for maybe Henry. Let's click on search. There we go. We have two Henrys in the hotel. And as you can see, this seems to be a duplication. However, let me just show you guys one thing. We can refresh and just get back to the whole system. We can exit or reset, and we can also select to populate any of the text box and all the necessary information that are stored on the dataGirdView. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Visual C++ development environment, and we'll put one of these together, guys. So let's do that now. And welcome back to Visual C++ hotel management system. I'm going to click on new project, and now let's select Visual C++ and click on next. Now let's give this project a name. I'm going to call it CPP Hotel DB. There, CPP Hotel DB, and let's click on create. Okay, now that the development environment is ready, I'm going to select Solution Explorer and write in the Solution Explorer. Let's make sure you click on the name of the project. You must make sure that is selected, CPP Hotel Database, and you see this very icon here, the properties. Click on that, and this opens up the property page. And on the property page, what we want is the linker. Look at it right there. Drop that down, and now we want to select system. Click on system. Up here we have what is known as subsystem. Let's change that to, click on that, drop this arrow down, let's select Windows subsystem. All we're trying to achieve now is to create a form. Now the next thing is I'm going to come back straight to my linker right here, and let's go right down. We go straight to advanced, select the advanced, and now we want to select enter point. My enter point in this case, I'm just going to give it a name. I'll call it main. And just for your information, make sure you have 64-bit. If your operating system is 64-bit, make sure it's 64-bit, or you can change it to 32-bit if you're using 32. That's fine. The next thing you do is click on apply, and now let's click on OK. There we go. Now back to the name again. You see the name of your project. That is the name of my own project, CPP Hotel Database DB, CPP Hotel DB. I'm going to now right click on it, and let's select add, select or choose new item. On the new item, what we want is, you now want to select UI, or the choice is yours. You can always select CLR. If it's UI, inside the UI I want the window forms. If you read the content in here, it says create CLR form containing windows, and the same thing applies to the UI. It's the same thing. So I'm just going to select any of them, and you see the default name I've been given is known as myform.h. I'm going to leave it as myform.h and click on add, and there we go. That's it. The system has built up and shows me an error, but that's no problem. Don't worry about that. That is the error we've been given, and right here that is the default name, myform.cpp. I'm going to now double click on myform.cpp, and right here there is a Visual Studio or Visual C++ forum. I'm going to show it to you guys now, and that is the forum. On this forum, it actually shows you guys how to create a form. Okay, this is what I've just selected. Now I'm going to go right down. All of these instructions have been completed. Now the most important part that I want to show you, we are here now, is this line, or are these lines of codes. Copy these very lines of codes. Copy. I'm going to include this URL on my description area. Copy that very lines of code and just paste it right in there. Now you have an error. Now to take care of the error, the name of your project, which is MySQL Hotel DB. So I'm going to enter that right here. Exactly the same spelling. CPP Hotel DB. That is it right there. There we go, and this error should disappear now. You see that is gone. My form is ready. If I choose to run it now, let's run it and you will see my form. There we go, we have an error. No problem. Let's click on OK. Now it's telling us enter point must be defined. Let's go back. Now let's go back to the Solution Explorer and right click on the name of your project, or you can just select these properties right here. If you right click, all you need to do is just select the properties. You might not be able to see that. I'm going to come in here, make sure it's selected, and click on the icon there. Now let's look up here. I have my subsystem window selected, and I also have my advanced. Right in the advanced, I have what is known as, what I type in as main. Okay, those two are correct. So now let me check my configuration management. Click on that. The configuration manager is showing me that my platform is Windows 32. It's not supposed to be 32. That's a conflict of interest there. It's meant to be 64. Close that and make sure the debug is on, and debug is here. Look at here as well. I almost missed that as well. That is for 32 bits. I have to change it to 64. Make sure you don't make that very mistakes. Okay, and click on OK there. So let's run it again. Just wait for it to load up, and right there, that's my form. Okay, so the form is ready now. I'm going to close that. Okay, the form is now ready. Everything is working the way I want. Right. But the thing is, you would not be able to see this form on the Solution Explorer. So what we have to do is, let's go back to the Solution Explorer here. What we have to do is, we have to close the whole program and reopen it. That's more or less like we are actually refreshing the whole project. So I'm going to close it and open it back again. Okay, I've just reopened my project. As you can see, CPP Hotel Database. Okay, my system is up and running again. So I'm now going to go straight to the Solution Explorer. Click on that, and right there, look at my form right there. Now double click on that very form. There we go. So make sure the form is selected. Let's go back to the properties right there, and I'm going to change the size of it. Let's change it to alphabetic order, and the size, I'm going to make that 1386 by 788. Press enter. That's my form ready. And the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to add dataGirdView. There we go. I have one dataGirdView there. Let's drag it that much. And now we also need some text box and labels. Let's come back in here. We're gonna need some buttons, so let's bring that right down here. And those buttons, I'm gonna add them into a panel really. So let's look for a panel. And there we go. Move this button here. I'll need a couple of those. Let's click and drag. here, and I would need some labels here for my timer and date. Select this panel and let's go straight to the property. I'll just change the property of that cell. Where we have border style, I'm going to make that fixed 3D. That's fine. And let's go up here. Right here, I need text box. We need text box. We need labels as well. Yeah. Is that here and here. Let's hold on to the control, click and drag. And let's increase the size of all of those components to about, my properties is missing, so all you need to do is, if you don't have your property, go up here, select Windows, reset window layout, click on this. Alright, my properties is back. So let's come up here and look for the font. I'm just going to make that about 14. There we go. Right. And I also need, I will need a combo box. And we will need, okay, I'm going to need daytime picker here. Let's come right here. Tools, daytime picker, right. Let's add one here. We're going to need about 3 of those, 2 and 3. And I need one more of these here. Delete this. I only need about 3 of those. Okay, I'm going to need a lot of these combo box. There's 2. So I'm going to need about 4 more. So I'll just copy. So it should be 6. Just 1 more. Right. Click, drag, and we'll rearrange that properly anyway. Okay, now here, let's come up here and just grab this, paste it right there. That's going to be for my, this one is going to be for, let's say, tax, and this is going to be for subtotal. And this will be for total. There we go. Right, what else do I need? Here, I'm going to need a text box here. This text box is going to be for, let's call that txt search. That'll be for my search functions. And right here, I just need it search. Okay. No, that should be here. And we need one more here. Let's grab this one and just, or maybe just bring it right here. That is going to be for number of days. Number of days. Yeah. We're getting there gradually. Alright, so all of this one I'm just going to arrange them in order, then I will get back to you guys. And this one up here is going to be customer ID, so let's change the name of that. And I'll just, I might end up speeding it all up. Customer ID, this is first name here, surname, the next one. Okay, this is gonna take some time, so I'm just gonna speed that up. That shouldn't be a problem for you guys anyway, and I will get back to you as soon as I'm done. So this one is gonna be postcode there. So let me just speed that up and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, I've just speed that up. This is how it's all looking now. Okay, these are just labels, and this is just a plain there just to divide it all. And that's how the whole system looks. So have a good look at it. Now, before I do any other thing, let me enter some details in here. That is for nationality. Let's come to the item, click on selection there and just enter various nationalities there we go. And let me enter another country where they view my video more. I'm going to enter Brazil. That's another country where they view my video. If your country is not here, don't worry, one of these days I will add you on board. Okay, that's fine. So let's come in here, gender, and we need to change that to gender as well, male and female. So go straight to the properties here, and for the gender, that is it right there. Done. And if we come right down here, type of ID, make sure type of ID is selected, come straight here and let's enter as follows. There we go. Those are the type of IDs. Okay, and this is today's date. That is my date and time picker. Now for the menu, come right here, click on that, and that is it. I've entered the menu. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of this one that says select menu. So I only have the following: breakfast, lunch, and so on. And type of rooms. Okay, that can be single, double, or family. Single, double, or family room. There we go. And we have room numbers. My room numbers is up to 10, so that's fine. There, have a good look at it. 0, 001, 002 up to 010. There we go. And that is all there is to it. And each of these components, for your information, this one is customer ID, and I call this one customer reference, something like that. That is it right there. And this is txt first name, you can see it right there. Surname, txt surname, txt address, txt postcode, txt mobile phone, you can see it all here. txt email address, this is CBO nationality. This I did not change the name, date time picker 1, CBO gender, CBO proof, I did not change that, date picker 2, date picker 3, a CBO menu, and so on. That's all I've done. You can name yours whatever you like. The name given to mine are similar to what I have on my labels. And here, that is just txt telephone extension, so I just put in extend there. That's tax and so on. And this is going to be for number of days, txt number of days. And here that's just the search. And the buttons, this is to add, update, delete, reset, refresh, exit. There. Okay, now that all of that is taken care of, let's pay attention to one very important thing here. I'm now going to select my Solution Explorer. Make sure it is selected. And right here, look at it, reference. See the reference? Click on the reference. Right click on that very reference and select Add Reference. You must do that. Now what we want to look for, if you are using Visual Studio 2019, we want to look for MySQL. Make sure the assemblers is selected and enter in there MySQL. There we go, that's it, MySQL. Click on that and that is it, MySQL data, MySQL.data. Select that and click on OK. Once you click on OK, you should be able to see it up here. So I'm going to click on OK, and if I drop this reference down, I should be able to see my SQL data in there. Do that again. My SQL data, it should be there. Right. Okay, select it. I was meant to click on the check button. Okay, take a good look at it. Make sure the check button is checked. I did not check it the very first time. I only just select. Okay, if I click on OK, and it should be there anytime from now. There we go. That is it right there. MySQL data. Look at it. Let's go back to my phone. MySQL data right there. Look at it. Okay. So that's how you get that on board. So what I did was I went to the Solution Explorer, right click on Add Reference, and here on the search bar just type in MySQL and this pops up. Make sure the check button is checked and then click on OK, and that is it. It should appear there. Once you've done that, you can now go straight inside the code. Double click on the form. I'm going to go straight up there, and now I want to add my SQL details in here. So here, let's add in this following library. Come right down here. I'm just going to say using MySQL. Look at it, automatically appears. Double click on that. Column data, column MySQL clients, and enter semicolon there. There we go. MySQL database is connected there. Okay, let's try that out. So I'm just gonna click on run. Let's see how the whole interface is gonna look like now. It's about there. Let's see. Then we'll start work on it. There we go. That is it right there. Look at that. Okay, that's looking good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight into MySQL database. There we go, right here. I'm going to probably use this very data, but for those guys who are new, this is the very first one I created for my previous tutorial that I showed to you with the overview, or on the overview. Okay, that's the database, but I'm going to create one just to let you guys know how that is done. I'll be very fast with it. Okay, right up here we have the schema. Let's just click on that. Click on schema, and I'm going to give my database a name. I'm going to call it Hotel DB. Okay, that's just the name of my database, Hotel DB. I'm creating another one. Like I said, I'm not going to end up using this because there's not going to be much data in it. Now, the next thing, once Hotel DB is created, you click on apply. There, click on apply again and finish. My Hotel DB is right there. If you click on this drop down arrow, as you can see, there's nothing there. Right click on the table, create a table. There we go. I'm going to name the table as Hotel DB as well. Now drop this down. Right here, I'm going to name my first column. This very first column, we just call it ID. And I'm going to make it my changes. Instead of primary key, I'm going to make it varchar. This one right here. How many characters? Let's say about 45. Primary key selected, not null selected, and I'm going to make it unique. So if you enter the same number twice, the system will refuse it. And in here, I'm just going to make that first name, surname, address. So I'm going to speed that up and get back to you guys. This is going to be postcode. Let's just speed that up. Okay guys, the column names are already in place, and that is it. So I'm going to click on apply. There we go. So let's click on apply here again, and that'll be all. It's successfully created. Click on finish, and that is how you create your own database in MySQL. So if you want to populate this, all you need to then do is come straight to the table here, drop this down, select the name of your table, and right here, that is the table. Click on that, and there we go. You can always populate it. So I'm just going to enter some data in here, and the name, that's going to be Tony Montana. that's the one we're gonna call. Okay, Tony Montana, the address, I'm gonna just speed that up. Let's say number 17, Little Venice, London. So I'm gonna speed that up. Okay, as you guys can see, I've just populated that for Tony Montana. So I'm gonna click on apply, and that is it. Okay, so we'll use the rest system to populate the rest. Alright, so I'm now going to call this HotelDB. I'm going to change it at one point, so minimize that. Let's come straight to our program here. Nothing is happening here. Let's end this. Now, right in here, let's come right down here. Okay, right underneath here, I'm going to create the following constructor to get my database connected. So let me just say MySQL connection, and I'm going to give that an object that I'll call SQL con equals gc new MySQL. Copy and paste. There we go. Enter parentheses and close that. That's my first one created. Now, the next one I'm going to create will be for the command. So I'm going to copy this. So that will be my SQL command anyway. And just paste that in here. And change this to command. Change all of these to command as well. There we go. And I'm just going to change the name of the other one here to complete the construction. Okay, that's the constructor for that command created. Now let's press enter. The name is fine. Yeah, click. And the next one is going to be for data table. Data table. And let's just give that SQL DT. Nope, that should be. So SQL DT equals GC new data table. Paste parentheses. There we go. Now, what else do we need to do? Let's get MySQL. This time around is going to be the adapter, and change this to adapter. Let's just call it DT uppercase A and change the name of this to data adapter. There we go. Let's copy and change this around as well. There. Now one more, we're almost there. So that'll be my SQL data reader. That's very important. We need that, else the system will not work. And I've just called that SQL RD lowercase, and there we go. Now I have my constructor in place. Now the next thing is, maybe I should just declare the variables I intend to use. Okay, let's just do that so that we don't bother come back in here anymore. So I'm just going to say double single room, no space, single room, one word, equals there. These are just my own variable I intend to use for this project. It's got nothing to do with this constructor up there. And this is going to be for double room. Double room. And this is going to be family room. And let's just change the price around. So let's make that about 75, and let's make this 100 plus 120. So we can just change this to maybe about 9. Okay, that's fine. The other one I'm going to create is, let's create one for meal and so on. So I'm just going to, let's say, come down here, double, one meal equals £7.50, and 2 meals, 3 meals, and so on. 2, 3. So this will be 2 meals, and this is 3 meals. Like I said, these are just my own variables. So make this about 18 plus, and this about 12 plus. Alright, that's done. Constructor and variables created. Now let's create maybe 2 more variables and just get those ones out of the way as well. That's going to be for, yeah, that's a double I tax for my tax, and the other one is going to be for my total. Double total. There. Every single variables I intend to use are all in place there. Constructor and variables. There we go. Right underneath the name of my form here is called my form. Okay, so let's get this connected. Okay, just one quick thing. Let's get that sorted anyway. See, since all of this is done, right underneath all of the component declaration there, I'm going to go right down here. Those were all officially generated by C++. So I'm going to come right down here, right underneath here. Yeah, that's fine. So the choice is yours, but I'm going to create my function right above the form load. So right here, let's come right down here, and I'm going to enter private, enter column system column void, and I'll just give it a name. I'll call it hotel connected. Okay, that's fine. Hotel connected, enter parentheses, press enter, and enter curly braces. There, that's my function that I'm going to be entering in here. So maybe I'll just draw a line here just to remind me that my function starts from here. We just write enter functions there, because I'm going to write more functions. Start function, end function, start function, and right here I won't let any of my function pass these 2 lines so that I know where they are. End function here. This is just for my own use. Okay, you can do what you like. Okay, the first thing we want to do is I'm going to call MySQL connect, which is one of the declarations I have in there. I will ask it to open, but before then, let's say dash less than, I'm going to say connection string equals, that will be data source equals local host. There. Now the next one, let's enter column. The next one is going to be the port. My port, I think everybody has almost the same port, 3306. Enter semicolon again. Now the next is, let's come right here. I don't know why this one is so far away. Let's get it indented properly. Alright, now the next thing is, let's add my username. Okay, let's see if we're going to have enough room. Username equals, that will be root. Now I'm going to have to enter space in here, space backslash, press enter so that I can continue on the next line. Next one is going to be password, so let's just say password. I'm just going to enter my password in there, equals KC, that's my password in there. Then I come out of it and just enter semicolon. The next one is going to be the database itself. Just call that database equals hotel DB. Close that. Boom. That is it. All done. Get rid of this. Alright, that is it. And enter semicolon just to end it here. Now this one. Okay, I have my connector in place. Now, right underneath here, we now want to open up the database. So let's come in here and ask the MySQL here to open it up. Dash open. Enter parentheses. And let's grab MySQL command. MySQL command dash connection, and that will be equals MySQL con. The MySQL command, we now want that to give us the command text. Command text equals select, let's say from hotel DB. There. And we now want to read it. MySQL read equals MySQL command dash execute the reader itself. Where is it? There we go. No, not end. Execute the reader. There we go. Now, SQL data table, we now want it to load up. Load. And what are we loading up? We're loading up this. The reader, the data reader itself. Put that in parentheses. And after that, we now need to close this. Close the reader. And we also need to close SQL Connect. That needs to be closed as well. Close that. And we then want to populate our dataGirdView. So we say that will be dataGirdView 1 dash data source, and that is going to be equals SQL data. There. That should do the trick. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to copy the name of my function, copy it, come right down here and just paste it right inside my form load, or we can even paste it inside form initialize, but let's paste it here. Okay, let's try it out now. So I'm going to click on run, and there we go, guys. That is my table. Okay, so we leave this out. So I'm going to change the table now to the read table that I want to use. That is it. That's the table I created with you guys. This very table right there. That is it. Okay, this was mistakenly left out. So let's just enter a postcode in here. Yeah, that's fine. Apply. There we go. Finish. Okay, so I'm going to close this and rerun it again so that we can get that very postcode in there. Now let's run it one more time so that we get that very postcode, and I'll change the database. You now know how to create a database and how to call it straight into how to connect it straight into the system. Alright, there we go. That's the postcode now appears in there. Okay, so now change it again. Change the whole database to the previous database that I created earlier. So just delete that, delete, and use that of hotel. This very one here. Hotel hotel DB, not hotel DB, hotel, this very one, the one that I've already populated. That's the one I want to use now, so don't get confused. I'm just changing the name. The one we created together is called hotel DB. The one I intend to use is just hotel. Okay, so let's change the name to hotel and change the connector here. That has to be changed to hotel as well. So all we then need to do is just to click on run. Now run. Let's see the other database. And there we go, guys. That's the other database, the one I used previously, or the one I showed you guys previously. So I'm going to end that. So now let's take care of the timer and maybe the search, exit, and the fresh. Let's try to get those ones done first. So I'm going to exit out, and let's come right here, open up the form. Where is it? It's right here, somewhere here. There. And I'm going to add, let's add a timer right there. That's a timer there. If you want to add a timer, all you need to do is just come right down here, and that's it. Just double click on it. Okay, there. So I have two. I'm going to delete that. I only need one will do. So double click on that. These two components here, this is LBL timer, LBL date, and I'm going to now double click on the timer here. Just press enter there. Now the first thing I want to do is to use the following, just declare the following, and I'm going to call that DT. DT is going to stand for my timer. So I'm going to say date time, that will be now, enter semicolon. And I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing, another one of those. Let's create another one. This will be for time and this will be for date. Let's just call that A. Now what I want to do is I will now come here. Let's enter LBL time dash text equals dt dot now dot to long time, just enter semicolon. So that is for timer. So I'm going to copy that. I'm just going to change that for date. So date is LBL date, and instead of time here, instead of using this method time, I'm going to change that to date. There we go. My date and time is done. So to call this, I'm going to go straight into the initialize and just initialize the timer. You can do that on the form, but I'm going to do that on the initialize. Where is it? It's right here somewhere. Let's come up here somewhere. There we go. That's it. Form initialize. That's it. My form initialize. Underneath here, I'm just going to paste that. Dot start. So once my program start running, this will initialize the timer. So let's try that out. Run. And there we go, guys. That's my timer working and today's date. So I'm going to exit out now, but the first thing I want to do is let me take care of this search button so that we can search for a name, then refresh and exit. So let's do that. So we'll come right here. Where is the search? So come right down here. Either one. I still have to enter both codes here. So I'm going to select this. Let's come in here straight to the properties. Make sure your text box is selected. Go straight to the properties and let's select event, and I'm going to now click on key press. Double click on key press, and right there press enter. Let's reduce this thing so that you guys can see it properly. Press enter, and let's use try cache there. Try, and right underneath here might as well just enter cache there. Open a bracket and enter exception. ex. Enter another curly braces, and the message box in there is going to be, let's just say message box dot show. No, it's not dot show, this is C++. Message box dot show ex dash message. We enter semicolon there, change that to lowercase. Okay, that should take care of that, and this message should be uppercase there. Now, to take care of the search, so I'm going to use an if statement. If e dash key char, so if key char, so the char 13, that is actually the ASCII code for carriage return. So if that one is pressed, we then want the system data view. I'm going to give it an object known as dv equals SQL data table dash default. So the content on the data table is going to be the default one, so we say dv dash row filter. Let's do that again. This one should have semicolon. Try this again. dv dash row filter, and the row filter will be looking into whatever we have inside this string dot format, and what we want you to look inside will be this column, the column known as name, the column on my database called first name. And inside that first name, so it's going to be like anything like inside that first name. So that would be apostrophe again, and we need 2% there, and we also need curly braces. Inside that curly braces, if it's now 0, then check the text box. The text box is going to be txt slash dot, no, it's not a dot, it is dash there we go. Alright, so now that we're searching for whatever we have in here, so let's do this. Whatever we have in there has to be what we have inside this column. So let's come in and enter our dataGirdView. dataGirdView 1 dash data source, and this data source equals dv dash to table, parentheses there. So that should take care of our search function. I'm now going to copy it because I'm going to be using it for the text box, for the button as well. So let's scroll right down to the button here. That's the button. Double click on the button. In the case of the button, I'm going to use click event. So I'll paste that in there, but this time around I'm going to get rid of the key shell. Okay, that's just carriage return. I've got rid of the carriage return. Let's make sure there's no error. Yeah, that's fine, there's no error, no issues. So let's run it now and see how that's going to work. Okay, so let's search for whatever name in here. So I'm going to just enter, let's say we want to search for Sally. Press enter. There we go, and that is Sally right there. Okay, let's exit out. We need to be able to refresh. This is the one I want to take care of now. So I'm going to come right here. So let's go right up there and just copy the connector. Here, this very one. I'm going to copy that, and here, just that for now. Up to here, copy. And let's go to that form. Right here in the form, let's double click on this refresh and paste the lines of code for connection that I've just copied there. Now, I don't want it opened yet, so I'm going to get rid of that. So let's just get rid of open for now. I'm going to copy all of this because I'm going to use try cache here. Try, move all of this straight in there, and right down here, enter my cache. Okay, let's ask the system to now do the search for us. Okay, now let's start by, we can even leave this out. Yeah, okay, come in here like this. If it doesn't work, then we change it the other way, so that's fine. So let's say string id equals txt customer reference dash text. Okay, and there. So I'm going to say MySQL. That will be for data, let's say data adapter. Yeah. And that is going to be SQL DT equals GC new, and the adapter and that will be the adapter actually. And inside this adapter, that's where we enter my search criteria, the SQL search criteria. Select from hotel, comma, select from hotel, and let's say SQL connect. I'm going to now enter data table, this table, and that's going to be SQLDT equals new data table, okay. And let's say SQL DTA, which one is that? That's this SQL DTA. That will be my SQL data adapter. You know, that will be fill the data table, this one. I'm gonna copy and paste that there. Here. And let's enter semicolon. Now we now need our dataGirdView to carry out the search, so I'm going to copy that here. dataGirdView, we want you to refresh the whole system, so copy this and paste it right at the front. There we go. Alright, let's see. Okay, let's try it out. So I'm just gonna click on run. Okay, let's try out the search function again. So I'm gonna enter whatever there. Let's assume let's just enter maybe P and just click on search. Now have the data for all the P's. Now decision time for the refresh, so click There we go, it's working the way I want. So let's say we want to go for Sydney. Search. There, that's Sydney right there, and refresh. So that's fine, guys, it's working exactly the way I want. So all of this is working, that is working, and this is working. So the date and time are fine. Let's take care of exit. So let's exit out there. Okay, back on the form, let's double click on the exit button right there, and I'm going to enter try cache just in case if there's any error. I'm just going to copy this, paste it right underneath here. And right in here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to declare as follows. Let's say system column Windows column forms column dialog result, and my dialog result I'm just going to call the variable, I'll call it iExit. Now let's say iExit, we want you to do as follows. So equals message box column show the following message. So I'm going to just enter in there, confirm if you want to exit. Alright, that's it, confirm if you want to exit. Column, let's enter the name, so I'll just call it hotel system, and that's my second argument. Then the third argument will be, let's say, comma, message box button column yes or no. So if we grab one of those, that should give us the answer that we want. Then we say comma, the next argument is going to be message box icon dot no column question. There we go. So if we select one of these, so let's use an if statement. If iExit equals system, copy all of this, just paste it right here, and that will be column yes. Then in that case, let's use, we want the message box, or sorry, we want the system to exit, so we say application column exit. There we go. Right, now why do we have error? We have error because there's supposed to be a semicolon there. There we go. Yeah, maybe I should just, let's see if this will work. It should work. And this one, there should be a semicolon there as well. Okay, so that is my exit taken care of. Alright, what else do we need to do? Exit is taken care of, no error. Let's try out exit. So I'm going to click on it and let's run. Okay guys, let's try out the exit. Click on exit. Yeah, that's cool, that's working. Now let's try this out, make sure that it's still working. Yeah, that's fine, and exit works as well. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take care of add, so that we can add more data in there. Okay, we should be able to add more data in here. Then we have update, delete, and I want to be able to select and display everything here, and this one as well, the dates. Okay, let's exit. Right, now back out there, let's double click on the total and add. So double click on that. Right, and the first thing I'm going to do is, I think instead of reinventing the wheel, let me just copy these lines of codes here. Yeah, this very one. I'm going to just copy that up to here, I believe. Yeah, let's grab those, copy, and let's go back down to the odd and total, or the total and odd. There we go. So I'm going to now enter that here, and here instead of select, I'm just going to change that to insert, because I will be inserting data. Insert into hotel database. Let's enter that. First will be ID, then we have first name, comma, surname, address. Those are the columns. I have postcode here. Then I also have mobile. Yeah, that's correct. Comma. Email. I think I do have I have nationality, so what I'm going to do is I'll just enter a comma here and close that up. Let's come in here, say plus, and press enter, so that I will have enough room. So I'm going to say nationality, and I think I should enter speech mark here. Alright, nationality, let's get him looking good now. Date of birth, then we have gender, comma, proof of ID, comma, date in, that should be lowercase, then date out, meal, room type, comma, and room number. There we go. That should take care of that. Now I'm going to enter plus there. Okay, the next time I'm going to enter will be the value. In this case, that's going to be the components. Okay, the first one, let's enter. Okay, we enter an apostrophe and a speech mark, and the first one is going to be plus txt customer ref dash text, and we enter plus speech mark, then an apostrophe, comma, an apostrophe, speech mark, and the next one is going to be first name, txt first name dash text box. Okay, that will be plus again, speech apostrophe, comma, apostrophe. This should be a comma, not a dot, not a full stop. Apostrophe and plus. And I'm going to repeat the same thing for the rest components. There we go. So I have all my components in place now. There. So what I will now do is, I think, let's see, because of error, let me just say try here. Try. And let's get rid of all of this, put this one underneath here. And let's enter a cache somewhere. Just copy this cache and come right down here, paste that here. Okay, and right in here, let's finish up this function here. I will now call my SQL command. Copy that, paste that in here. SQL command equals execute. That should be execute query, this very one. And SQL com dash we want that to close, and we also want, let's grab the hotel DB, no, hotel connect, my function up there called hotel connect, this very one there, call that function. That's it. If you guys can still recall the function right up there called connect, where I connected the database. I'll show it to you. No, it's right underneath here. There we go. That's the function that I've just called. There's going to be one more function there, and that will be for my calculations and so on. Okay, come right down. So this is for my total. It's actually for total and insert more data, really. Okay, so let's move this up so that you guys can see it there. So I'm going to try this out now, so let's click on run. Okay, decision time. Now let's try it out. The last record that I have in here is Kingsley Queen, so let's enter something else here. So I'm going to make that up. I'll just call that value 7878. That will be the reference number. Now let's come right here. The name is going to be, let's call that David, or hey, Davis. Okay, Davis is fine. Davis Johnny. And address, let's just call that Makeway. Close. Let's come right here. Postcode. Telephone number. Email Mickey at hotmail.com. Nationality, okay, from Bangladesh, that's fine. It's male, and let's say it's a pilot, and date in, date out, and be 18. Meal, maybe 1, and room, single. There. This is not working yet. We're gonna do something about that soon. Okay, let's see if we can add that straight onto the dataGirdView. There we go. I think we've done it. Yep, that is it. It's added. That's it right there. Supposing I want to try and add it again, no duplicate is allowed. Click on OK. That's fine. So add or update, add, insert new data is working fine. Okay, now let's take care of update, delete, and reset. Now exit out. Okay, let's double click on update. So right here, okay, for the update, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, let's copy these connectors. I'm going to do, okay, let's also include try cache and just come right down here, paste that here. and close off my try. Okay, underneath here I'm just going to copy this as well, copy and paste that here, and for now I'm going to delete this. Right, and in here the first thing I would like to do is I'm going to declare, let's create a function here. This open, I don't want to open it just yet, so I'm going to get rid of that because it's just an update. Okay, what do I want to update? I'm going to say string. The first one is ID. ID equals txt customer reference that test there, and the second one string, second one is first name equals txt first name, and we enter that. Third one, a surname equals txt surname there, and so on, guys. So I'm just gonna speed that up. I reckon you guys get the whole idea. So what I'm trying to do is identifying the component that is likely to be updated. So the next one here is going to be address equals txt address there. So let's speed that up, and there we go, guys. Alright, so I'm now going to use the command text. So cm, let's copy that here. It's going to be cmd command text. This I might as well copy all of this and just change it around, copy them all. Maybe I should include these ones as well. Let's grab all of these and come right down here, just paste it right down here. There we go. And what else do I want? I have to open it here. I remember saying I was going to open the SQL dash open. That should be connect. Right, so I have the command that should be reader.command SQL reader equals that. Okay, and this should be reader. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so that is looking fine. Maybe we should add a message box. But first thing before that, let me just tidy up this. Instead of insert, that should be update. Update hotel, get rid of that, and update hotel set ID must come and just say set ID equals, so it's going to be equals an apostrophe e speech mark plus ID plus, that will be speech mark and apostrophe. So I'm going to repeat the same thing, exactly the same thing for the others. Okay, this is going, let's copy this, paste that in there, Alright, so we need as follows. Let's grab all this, copy that, paste it right here, and grab this, paste it right at the back of this. There. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for all, and I'll get back to you guys shortly. This one is now, we're not going to need this because I've already defined it up here, so I'm going to get rid of all of this here, and just speed up this one and get back to you guys shortly. Okay, I think that should take care of that should hopefully take care of the update. Right, so let's see. Okay, take it from the top here and bring it down here. Okay, let's try this out. I'm going to run it. Okay, before I can run it, because I won't be able to run it now, even if I run it, nothing will happen. So what I want to try and achieve is, you see, when I select any of the rows here, I want it to appear here, then I'll be able to update it from this component. So what I'm going to do, select the dataGirdView, come straight to the properties here, and I will need, can you see that? Cell click, this very one, double click on that, there, right here. So what I want to do now is I'm going to say try cache. I'm writing there txt customer reference dash text equals dataGirdView 1 dash selected, that will be selected rows, and that is 0 dash cells and the very first one is going to be column 1. I say here, column 1 dash value dash to string, there we go. So this should just be value. Get rid of all of this. Okay, so that's the very first one. The next one is going to be, let's copy that. This is going to be first name. So change this to first name. And followed by surname. We have address. And the value here will be 2, 3, 4, and so on. I'll just copy this and repeat the same thing for the others. But just before that, let's copy this one and just paste it right underneath here. Get rid of this one. Okay, so let's speed this up. Okay, it's done, but this is wrong. That's supposed to be 0, supposed to start from 0, 1, that'll be 2, and so on, 3, 4. Let's speed that up. Okay, that is it, all taken care of. So the cells start from 0, 1 up to 20. So let's run that, run it anyway, and see how that's going to look like. Okay, so I'm going to select any of these cells here. There we go. We have Peter there, and here okay, because we don't have value in here. Okay, we don't have any value here, so I can always delete those. But let's see if we can update. So let's come in here. Instead of Dr. Peter, we can then change that to maybe Reverend, and let's click on update. There we go, we are able to update it. Look at that. Okay, from Dr. Peter to Reverend Peter. So let's see if we can update another one. Select Grace, and let's see, let's change the surname now that she's married. So let's say the husband's name is Morehouse. Okay, update. There we go, it's changed to Morehouse. That's good. There, so the update is working. Total and add is working. Now we need to take care of just these two. Let me draw your attention to something. You see, when I click on this column here, I end up with this message saying index out of range. Okay, it's out of range because when I was creating the cell click, I entered the following: the tag subtotal and extension number. So I'm going to take care of that now before I then take care of delete and reset. So let's exit out. Yeah, there we go, that's it right here. If you can still recall, I selected this dataGirdView, go straight to the properties here and select event, and right here cell click, just click, double click on that. There we go. So I'm going to come in there. The cells actually start from 0, but by the time you get to here, extension number, number of days, tag subtotal, those ones I don't want to include those ones, so I'm going to get rid of them. Okay, I only need it for the 16 components. So I'm going to save it now, and let's run it again, and you see what I'm talking about. That error will be gone by now. Alright, let's give it a go. Just select whatever cell. That's it. It's fine now. Okay, it's no more out of range. Okay, so let's take care of these two and this very one. You see, when I select this, I would like you to just tell me, give me the room number extension or the extension number to the room. I would like to do that as well, and I will also take care of the calculation for tag subtotal and total. So I'm going to exit out here, and let's come back in here, go straight to our form, and let's double click on the resets. Double click on that. There we go. For the resets, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reset every single component, so I might as well just copy everything I have in here and just delete what I don't need. Grab it all and come right down here, paste, and start taking care of the resets. This is my reset now. There we go. So I'm going to copy that and just pass it around. Copy, there, reset. And I'm going to repeat the same thing for all. The only difference is going to be, you see the date time picker. I'm going to change those. Let's change that now so that you guys see what that's meant to be. And that is going to be reset text. There we go, that's it. Okay, so that takes care of that. Reset text. I think there's meant to be parentheses in there. Let's enter parentheses and see that. Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to have to speed this up. Okay, so all I'm just doing is just that. I'm not doing anything much that you guys cannot take care of. So let's speed that up and I'll get back to you. Oh, this is dates. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna speed that up and I'll be back, like I said. Okay, that's it, all done. There, that's my reset taken care of. Okay, I believe there's an easier way to clear multiple text box, so you guys can use that, and if you find a solution to that, that'll be great. Alright, now let's take care of the delete button here. So double click on the delete. Now for the delete, let me just copy some stuff here instead of reinventing the wheel. So I'm gonna come into, let's go to here. I'm gonna copy all of these here. From here, maybe just maybe up to here. Just take it and copy everything and delete what I don't need. Copy everything there. And I'm gonna go straight down here to the delete function. That's the name. Look at that. And paste that in there. There. Now let's start work with deleting what we don't need. Alright, so I have it connected. That's good. I'm gonna get rid of the open first. Get rid of that. There. Because I'm gonna be using the ID, so I might as well just specify my ID. Let's grab all of this and just take it up here. Now let me specify my ID here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call the ID, so let's say string, and that will be ID, and this very ID, I should be able to get that inside my txt customer reference. That is where I enter my client ID, or you can call it client reference, whatever you want. There. Alright, so that's taken care of. And underneath here, I'm going to use this command to, instead of insert, I might as well just delete all of this. So that should officially be delete. So let's change this one to delete from hotel. Delete from hotel, and that's, I'm just gonna use where ID. So let's get rid of all of this as well. Where ID equals, let's enter quote plus ID plus quote and speech mark, comma. Let's make reference to my SQL connector. There we go. Okay guys, there's one thing I'm going to have to change. That is, I'm going to change that to MySQL because I'll keep having that error. MySQL, that will be command. MySQL command is, it's going to be called SQL com, and right in here I'm going to get rid of this, and I'll just change that. Let's get rid of all of that. Let's change that to equals gc new, and that is going to be my SQL command. Grab that and just paste it right here. That should hopefully take care of the error. There we go, the error is gone. So I'll use it that way to activate my delete SQL function there. Okay, now let's open the connector. Then after that, what we need to then do is we need to get the reader. I want the reader to actually read. So let's say SQL reader here. This is the disadvantage when you copy. SQL reader, you just have to keep changing little bits. So the SQL reader equals SQL command dash, we then change the execute to execute reader. Yeah. There. Now, we're executing the reader. I might as well just add a message here before I close this thing. Let's come right down here. Let me just add a message here. Let's say message box column show. What should I enter? I'm going to say record deleted, something like that. Record deleted. Yeah. And maybe I should just enter another parenthesis. Let's call that hotel database. And add another argument. The other argument, I'm going to call that message box buttons dot. I'm going to use this column. Okay. And one more argument, message box icon. That will just be an information. So select the information one. Alright, enter a semicolon there. So that's the message box I intend to use. And we close our connection here. Do I need to reactivate after closing? Let me get rid of this for now. Or just drag it right down here, bring it down here. Okay, if you guys can still remember, that's my function that I use to connect my database. So let's give this a try. Let's increase it a little bit so you can see it. Alright, I'm going to give it a try. Let's click on run. Okay, let's try that out. So I'm going to select where we have, I think this is Captain, okay, Captain Tommy. I have 2 of Captain Tommy, so let's get rid of one. Okay, hit on delete. Record deleted. Okay, but it's still there, so we need to refresh. Okay, it's gone, but we do need to refresh. So if I exit and rerun the program, run it again, you will see the other name of Captain Tommy is deleted. So let's run it, and there we go. Okay, we only have one Captain Tommy, but we don't want it that way. Maybe I should call this, or just write a small, or reload the whole form entirely right here. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, one other thing is I have 2 of dips here, so let's delete dip and see if I can even refresh it here. I'm going to delete that. Yes, record deleted. And let's see if we can refresh and reload. Yeah, that's it, it's working. Look. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it seems the refresh works better, so let me just select another one here. Maybe select Johnny here, and I'm going to just change the, let's change the customer ID and add. There we go, that's it there. So if we click on delete again, there it's gone, but it's still showing, not until we refresh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the code in here, just delete it off and just enter it into a function. So let's exit out and go for the refresh. Right in here, let's look for the refresh button. That's it right there. I'm going to double click on it. Let's scroll right down. So grab all of the codes in here. I'm going to copy it all and just cut it off and use it as I'm going to use it as a function. So click, you see all the refresh is gone. So I'm going to go to where I have my, okay, that's it, that's my area for function, and underneath here I'm going to create another function, private. Let's enter column system, double column, void. Oh no, let's call it refresh. Refresh DB. There we go. That's the name. And enter curly braces. I will now paste the copied lines of codes in there. There we go. Alright, that is it right there. So let's copy this very function. That's the function refresh. Okay, have a good look at it. I've only just copied it from the button and I brought it up here into my function area. This is the main function for my main for the whole program, the ones that load up the database. Now let's come right down, copy this function name. Let's look for button refresh. Let's see, it should be here somewhere. Refresh. I'll go to the form and just double click on it. Okay, we have our delete. That is the delete. Okay, let's take care of the delete. I'm going to come right down here now, and instead of this I'll just delete that and enter my refresh function in there for the delete. That is fine. So let's go for the button itself. Right here, come right down, double click on refresh. There we go. That's the area for refresh. Paste that in there, enter semicolon. There. Alright, so let's run it down and see how that's going to work. Alright, decision time. So what I'm going to do is I will select any of these. Let's click on that, Johnny Parker, and let's change the details of Johnny Parker to, let's go for 800 plus so that we can see it down there. So I'm going to say 8. Okay, we should be able to see Johnny Parker here. I'm going to add Johnny Parker's details. That is it. So which means we have duplicated Johnny Parker's details with different ID number. Okay, there's one here and there's another one here. So we can delete this, select that, come straight to delete, hit delete. Yes, record deleted, and there we go. Look at that, Johnny Parker's details is all gone there. Okay, I can copy this. Let's change this to maybe 7 and update. So we have 2 Johnny Parkers here again. Look, so I'm going to select one of them, click on delete. Yeah, that's it. The delete is working and at the same time refreshing the whole system. Okay, let's try someone else. Maybe just clone. Let me go to Omo Isha. Okay, Omo Isha Echo Ewu. Now I'm going to add that. Let's change that to about 8 something so that we can get that right underneath here. Now add. There we go. Now let's try to delete the excess record of Omo Isha. So come in here, delete. There. So my delete is working perfectly. Reset is working, as you can see. Delete works, refresh works. I'm happy. So all that is left for me to do now is I need to, when I click on this, select any of the room numbers. I automatically want the extension details, so let's do that. Alright, let's go back to the design view and okay, let's come in here. That's the combo box, double click on it, and right there I'm going to enter as follows: if. Let's put that in a bracket. First thing, let's enter this. Copy all of that and start with try. There. Paste that underneath here, and right in here I'm going to use an if statement. So if that is this combo box, that's the name there. If the text content on it is equals to 0, 0, 1. So I want to open a bracket here and let's just say txt, enter my condition there, txt dash the text. Okay, close this. Txt dash the text equals 1001. So that will be the extension number. So I'm just going to close this here. There. You can always write it like this. The choice is yours. I just want to put it on a straight line. We need to enter semicolon here. I just want to put it on a straight line because I have about 10 of those to do. Okay, you get that, guys. So I'm going to return it back to what I've just done earlier on a straight line so that you guys can see it properly. Repeat the same thing here, else it's going to be too long for me. Okay, that's it. Let me increase the font size now so that you can see it properly. So I'm just going to copy and paste now. Copy this and change the numbers around. Paste. I have 10. Okay, this one is going to be 2, 3, and so on. Right, just one more. That's 10. I think 10. Yeah. Get rid of that. This is how that's going to be 10. Alright, so this one will be 1, 0. So that's the phone number for that. So this one is 1, this one is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's that taken care of. Okay, you see how quick that is. So that is it, guys. So for the combo box is sorted. Those are the lines of code for the combo box. Now let's run that and see before we take care of the final one, which is the calculation. So run. Alright, guys, let's try that out. I'm going to click on any room number there. There we go, and that's the telephone extension for that very room. Okay, that's fine. Now let's take care of number of days. Now I want the number of days to work with the day, date enter into the hotel, and date you live in. So if we have 1 here, then I expect this number of days here to give me 17. So to do that, we're going to have to use functions as well. Alright, so let's exit out. I'm going to be using function there because I have to assign both value or the lines of code in both components. So first thing first, let's go right up where I have my function line. So let's come up here somewhere. Function. There we go. I think that is it. Yeah. End of function and beginning of function. Alright, so let's create another one. The very first one is going to be first and first. Let's give my function a name. Private. There. System. Column void. Alright, so my function name, I'm going to call it number of days. That's my function name. Enters curly braces there. So that is the name of my function, number of days. Okay, now let's call the following object date time. The very first one for time, I'm just going to call that db time. Okay, db time. All right, let's make this lowercase. db time, and that is equals to, let's first of all convert column to day, dates to date time, and the first one is going to be, no, it's called dates picker, dates time picker, date time picker 1, oh no, it's picker 2, date time picker 2 dash whatever you have in there in a text format. There we go. That's the very first one. So I've assigned whatever value we have in here straight into db time. So I'm going to create another one. Come right down here, paste. The second one, I'm going to call that db date, and the value of that is 3. The time picker 3. Alright, now let's subtract what we have inside both. So we have to subtract this from this. So come right down here, and let's say time span. So I'm going to just give that a name. Let's make that up. Time span equals, let's say different, equals db date dot subtract whatever we have inside db time. Okay, there. No, this, why am I calling it date and time? So no, let's just call it db time as well. Db time 1, db time 2. Sorry about that, instead of me confusing you guys with date. There. And this is going to be 2. So subtract 1 from 2. db time 1 from db time 2. There. So the first one, this is for date in, and this one is for, the next one is for date out. Date into the hotel and date out of the hotel. So we now subtract date in from date out. So this should be 2. That's one we want to subtract, and this one will be 1. Okay. Yeah, we subtract this from this. Now let's assign whatever we get, the different. I'm now going to come down here. Let's enter semicolon there. Come down here and let's go for txt number of days dash text equals convert to string. Yeah. And what we want to convert to string is in the form of integer. So convert column to int 64. Mine is 64, so what am I converting is going to be different dot days. There. Enter semicolon, and that should take care of that. So let's move everything here so that you guys can see it properly. So I will now call this inside my date time picker. So copy that, go straight to the design, and double click on this very one, press enter there, and paste that in here, enter semicolon. So I've just called that very function in the first one, so I'm going to repeat the same thing for the next one. So come down here and just double click on the second one, this one, double click on that and press enter, paste both function. So all we need to do now is to run the program. So let's click on run there. Okay guys, decision time. Let's try it out now. Select whatever in there. There we go. And let's assume we increase this one to there. That's fine. Let's make a mistake. See, it's working as we want, so that is fine. We will now use this value we have in here to multiply whatever we have in here, or the selection made here, to determine the overall total, subtotal, and tax. So let's write another function. Once that is done, and that will be the end of the program. So I'm going to exit out, exit there. Okay, I'm going to go straight to where I have my functions. So let's scroll up there. That's delete, and this one is reset, dataGirdView, and updates, and the function is right here, up here somewhere. There we go. Right, so this is my third function. The first one, like I told you guys earlier on, that's the very first one that we used to upload all of the, it was used to upload the data anyway. So let's come in here, just even number it. So I'm going to enter that. I'll call that function number 1. That is 1. Okay, have a good look at it. I'm going to write another one here. That's function number 2. Like that too. And this is the third one that we've just taken care of now. This very one. And the last one is the, no, this is third. The last one will be the fourth function. Right. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy that, come right down here. And paste. So let's give it a name. I'm going to call it total cost. So come right here, just change that to total cost. There we go, and press enter. Right, for total cost, so what I want this function to do for me is whatever I have inside my text box, this very one, okay, I want it converted to string. But one thing first, let's declare an integer. Int number of days. Yeah, that's fine. Equals int 64. I'm using 64 because my system is 64. Then we want it to pass the following value. So what I want you to pass is everything we have in here. Okay, so copy this, paste it in there, and to string. There, dash string. Close that up. Okay. Let's just enter parentheses here to take care of that. That should take care of the error. Okay, that's fine. So I'm now going to use an if statement here to check whatever I have inside the combo box. So if combo meal dash text, if combo meal that text equals, let's say, breakfast, if that is breakfast, and combo room that should be room type, and the room type equals or dash text equals single. Now I'm going to be using the variables that I declared right at the beginning of the program, if you guys can still recall. But first thing first, let's enter curly braces there, and here are the variables. Let me take you guys to where I have the variables right up here somewhere. If you can still recall every single one of these variables, we're now going to be using them. Okay, I'm going to be using these now, and these and these. Okay, let's go back to the function. There we go, right here. So in here we now want total. Total is one of the variables that was declared. Total equals meal1 plus single room. So because we have single here, so that's going to be single room. That's the other variable. Then we want to now multiply it by the whole value that is stored in here. Copy that and paste it right here, multiply, and enter parentheses. That's one step out of the way. Now let's work out the tax. Tax equals whatever I have inside total here. So grab total, open up a bracket, and that is going to become multiplied by I tax, the tax of the, yeah, I think it's right, I tax, then we divide that by 100. So that will be for the tax. Right, now let's see I tax and tax. Okay, as you can see, I tax is declared as the tax that we charge, but my other variable, just tax, is not declared. So I'm going to go back up there and get that declared. I thought I declared that. So come up here, where is it? Okay, where I have my total, I'm just going to maybe comma and just make that tax there. And I tax does not even have a value, so I'm going to give it a value as well. So let's say I tax equals maybe 0.2. 0.23. Okay, that's the value for the tax that you're paying for your room. So let's come down here. So that's taken care of as well. Come right down here. So where is the function? The functions here. So as you can see, the error is gone. Now underneath I tax, I will now enter the following values. Let's say txt tax. Yeah, txt tax. Pass the following. I want you to pass whatever value we have in here, so it's going to be string column format, and that is going to be, let's say, speech mark, curly braces 0, column C, that which will give me a 2 decimal place, and close the curly braces, come right here, and that will be tax. Enter semicolon here. There. That should take care of that. Now the next one is subtotal and tax and a total. So I'm just going to copy this, paste. So change this to subtotal. I think it's lowercase t. Subtotal, and in the case of subtotal, this is going to be total. Y for total is going to be total plus tax. So paste that in here. total plus tax, and change this one to total. There, that is it, done. Okay, let's do two more conditions. So this is how I'm going to work out my calculation. So I'm going to copy this, come right down here and use else if, paste. And this one, the condition is going to be that single room, so this is going to be double room. So in the case of double room, because the price is different from that of single room, that's one condition on its own. So let's come right here. This is going to be double room instead of single. So the price to that is now different. 1 mil to double room. Copy. Now let's do for family room. Come right down there, paste, scroll right down, and this is going to be family. And just change this to family room. There we go, paste. And there, those are the three conditions that I'm going to use. And if you want to repeat the same thing for the other three, this is breakfast, the next one is going to be lunch. You can just copy that all the way here, and copy that and just right underneath here, there. And all I just need to do is to change this to lunch. There we go. I repeat exactly the same thing here. There, and right here again. Change this. So in that case, the meal is going to be 2. So the same thing applies to this one here. So you can just do the same thing for the third one. Come right down. And there we go. Yeah, that's all I'm going to take care of. Just those two conditions for the meals. So I have breakfast and lunch. You guys can take care of dinner. All you need to do is easy. Just copy whatever you've done, copy, and just change it around to dinner. Or maybe I should just complete it. Paste there. And change this to dinner. There. Copy that, and this one becomes third meal. Another dinner here. Oh, we need to correct that error. Okay, come up here, and this is third as well. And this will be dinner. There, those are the conditions to that. So let's make sure. Alright, dinner is served. Right. Then we have lunch. Get rid of this error here. Yeah, that's fine. And that's it. So I'm now going to run the program. But just before I do that, let me show you guys the whole lines of codes. Take it up here. Okay. Constructor declared. Okay. Then all my variables declared as well. And here I initialize the timer. And let's take it down. Now every other thing you will see is the component declarations. They're up to here. Okay, now I have my function. The function that calls my database, or the function that connected my database. Function to refresh the system up to here. And right here, function to calculate the number of days. And finally, the last function here, that's function for total. Okay, so you guys, you saw that earlier, so let's go back down now. Now right here we have the function for date and time inside the timer. Then we have the search. As a search from here. Okay, and this search is using the text box. Then we also have another search function here that's using the button. So you have two options there, either to double click on the text box, to click on the text box, or click on the button. Now function refresh called in here, exit, we have exit there. We have total here. So in here actually we need to call the function total that we've just taken care of. Okay, so I'm going to come right down here. Then right here I can call it right away. So let's come down here and say total cost. There we go, that's it. That's function total cost called. The last function I've just taken care of, I've called it inside the total. Okay, so when we hit on total button, we should be able to see the whole calculation for that. Now update. Let's do one thing so that you can see updates the rest of the codes. Yeah, that's it. That's update. Take it from up there and bring it down. Yeah, that's update. And we'll come right down here. We have the function that takes care of the dataGirdView. When you select any of the column, is displayed on every single component on the text box, combo box, and the time, date and time picker. Now we have resets. Lines of code for reset. Come right down. And we have delete. And finally we have the room. Okay, this is where you select any number of room and it gives you the extension number. And finally date and time picker, calling the functions. That's all. So let's run this program now. Alright guys, now let's try out this calculator. So I'm going to select this. Let's select Kim Casey. Those are the details of Kim Casey. Now let's assign. Well, Kim Casey is spending, she's spending 40 days. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like change the value in there. Let's change it here, so that's going to be 005. Now let's click on total right here. There we go, look at that. Okay, so now we know the cost of staying in the hotel. Okay, and if you come right down here, we now have Kim Carey on board. So if you want, we can delete this very one. So just go up there, delete. Yes, the system refresh. Kim Carey is now up there. See, everything is working beautifully. Okay guys, it's been a very long tutorial, so with that I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed, and please do subscribe to my channel, and you can also join to become a member. There's a lot of benefit if you're a member of the channel. So with that I'm going to say bye for now. You all have a nice day now. Have a nice one. And bye for now guys.